And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. Always a busy day. And of course, our new presenting sponsor out there, theclayairy.com, Clay Airy Music, and his new single, Time for That, across all those digital streaming platforms. We appreciate Clay joining the team here, and also the CadenGordonShow.com, today's best country mix, KKTC, True Country 99.9 out there in Taos, New Mexico, and up into Colorado, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And I tell you guys, we're such global. All those great shows we did last year with WSM Radio, the home of the Grand Ole Opry. And it's always good to go across the pond and meet friends in the UK. British country artist Brook Ellingworth joining us here. Brook, what's up, man?
Not much, dude. How's it going, Brandon? Good to speak to you.
It's good, man. You know, just a couple of weeks away now from the country radio seminar. Hope to see you there. We'll be at the Omni Hotel doing our thing from the 19th to the 21st of February. Looking forward to that.
I am. It's going to be good. It's going to be my first time there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got invited out to it a few months ago, and I was just like, screw it, I'll just come for the whole month. I was like, 3 days. Let's just make it 4 weeks.
Why not?
So yeah, I'm heading out in a couple of weeks, and then yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting you and meeting everyone there, and should be a good old time.
Good old time, brother. No doubt that way. Hey, talk to me about your backstory. I always love to learn how people get into this crazy industry called music, you know, when it comes down to it. But obviously, you know, family oriented, or like I said, just self-inflicted, they say, in a good way, to get into it. You know, open mic night. What is it? Give me the backstory of the love of just country music and how you found it and it found you.
Well, dude, I was kind of speaking about this a little bit last night with a friend. We were out having a beer, shooting some pool, you know, as you do on a Monday. And we were both asking each other, just like, why the hell do we do this? It was like, man, this industry. But we just do it because we love it. It all started. I live in the countryside. I grew up here, and I started playing guitar when I was 8. Saw some local musicians playing at this little festival that's local to us. It's like a blues and beers festival, super small charity thing. And I wanted to play keys originally, and then I saw these cats playing guitars, and I was just like, oh, I think I'm gonna do that. And then I had my first gig when I was 11. I'd played in rock bands throughout my teens, but I'd always loved country music at the same time. I grew up on it. And then I decided to take this solo career path around 2017, after leaving university, and fell into it almost with the whole songwriting thing. And I finally found my voice. I'd only really done backing vocals before. And that's sort of how it all started. And then the pivotal trip to Nashville in 2018, opening my eyes to country music. But being a country musician could be a thing here for me.
Which, you know, it's a story there too. Yeah, and talk about just the musical influences behind this too, because this could be kind of that smorgasbord of everything, not just country artists, but I'm sure there were other different genres of music that influenced you, right?
There were massively. Like first favorite band, first gig, first everything, that was Bon Jovi for me. And then so I grew up listening to Bon Jovi and the Rolling Stones and loads of Bob Dylan, loads of Bruce Springsteen. There was ZZ Top in there and all of that. And that was sort of before I started even reaching out to my own tastes. That was all through my dad. And then my mum would play all the country side of things. She'd be playing, at the time, the Dixie Chicks and Dolly Parton and Keith Urban. And, you know, it was a big mix of classic and slightly 90s, and then another dude from across a different pond. And then, you know, I fell in love with like heavy Southern rock, like Blackstone Cherry, and I love Leonard Skinner and Blackberry Smoke and all those bands whilst I was in college and school and throughout all these rock bands. Huge rock fan. And I used to play lead guitar in all these bands. I wasn't and I used to write the songs as well, but I was never much of a front man at that particular point. So yeah, it all gelled.
It gelled really well, and I tell you, some of the songs that we got to check out here on the show, which I love doing for all my guests too, which was Dive Bars and Heartaches. This was that live acoustic like feel, man, with that raspiness in the voice, that grit, that growl I always say that you have in the music. We'll feature Truck Stop here on the show a little bit, but talk about that one, because that was one of the first ones, you put out there to the masses out there to kind of get the audience, really resonating with your music and kind of pulled in. I love to hear backstories on tunes and where songs kind of originate from.
Oh, for sure, man. So that was the Dive Bars and Heartbreaks. That was the first thing I'd ever really put out on a streaming into the world as a musician. It was the first thing I'd publicly released, and that was beginning of 2023. So 2022, I recorded it in Nashville with my really good friend Jake Burns over at Lab Recording Studios, and I'd been writing, and I had some songs under my belt, and I knew that I needed to get something out there. So when I did 3 trips over to Nashville that year. I was super keen, after on the back of COVID and all of that, I was just raring to go. And I did 1 trip and I was out there for about a month. And then when that finished, I was like, right, I need to come back. I got some songs to finish. There's some unfinished business, all this sort of stuff. And then that happened again. I went out for a few more weeks and then I came back home and then I went back out. And in that period, we recorded this live acoustic EP. Because I was just like, all right, okay, how can I do this without completely bankrupting myself at the time?
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't know that many people in town. I didn't have a band in town. These songs were pretty fresh for me. And so we did this live acoustic EP, no bells, no whistles, just me, a bunch of vintage guitars in a room, a few mics. There's no auto-tune. It's just, it sort of is what it is. And so, yeah, Dive Bars and Heartbreaks was the first body of work I stuck out there.
And it stuck with me too. Like I said, loving that acoustic, especially hearing a different side of things that you don't hear. Like I said, the recorded version is one thing out there too, but when you get a chance to hear that live acoustic track, that's always a fun time for me. And then let's talk a little bit about Like It Was the First Time. That was 2024 when that one came out too. A little bit of a different feel to me, but still, some of that kind of up-tempo, rock-infused country music, which I enjoy and the fans do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was definitely a huge step up from the Dive Bars and Heartbreaks EP. I feel I've definitely grown a lot since then. I still love it, but I was out in town in 2023, and we did, again, I was working with Jake Burns. We recorded over at Curb Studios this time, and he co-produced this track with me. This was Like It Was the First Time was a solo write. The story is about if you could go back and experience that one kiss that changed everything for you with that one person. It's not that awkward first kiss where you butt teeth with someone. It is that if it's with your partner now or someone that got away or whatever it is, it's going back to that moment and just reliving it. And I took it out with me and I was like, Jake, let's do a single this time. And then let's pull a session band in. And I'd sat in on one of his sessions before with these group of incredible players. And I was just like, right, I want to do exactly that. Yeah. So that's exactly what we did. And we cut it in, it was under an hour. And then we did the vocals separately. And then, launching that and hearing that as a full sound, full band, full production, everything. It was just, utterly different.
I love it too. We get a chance to feature some music here. KKTC True Country 99.9 out there in Towson, Mexico, and up into Colorado, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. It's a roadmap to your heart. It's Brook Ellingworth Again, presented by our presenting sponsor out there too, Clay Airy Music, Clay Airy, theclayairy.com. And of course, the latest single you'll hear more about after the song here too from Brook Ellingworth. It's KKTC True Country 99.9. Stay tuned. A lot more coming up.
I'm tired of playing these games. You do one thing and tell me another like I don't know. Well, I've been hanging on too long enough for me to say that you should know. If you're gonna break my heart, go on and do it right now.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
And back with Brook Ellingworth, KKTC True Country 99.9, Taos, New Mexico, and up into Colorado, Pueblo up there, 200,000 watt station. Make sure you guys listen to us every day, 5 to 6 Mountain Standard Time out there. We're in drive time and just taking you on your ride home there for picking up the kids. Or like me, if you got a daughter, you're running them to soccer practice, t-ball, all that good stuff, or running them to eat somewhere. Hardly ever a home-cooked meal here on the Backstage Pass. We're here to keep you company out there. And if you're skiing, hey, more power to you out there. We just had a lot of snow here in Texas, which I never thought I would see down here too. But, hey, you know what? We got about 4 inches of it. And, again, just great to highlight artists. Keep us tuned in there. Grab your favorite beverage, and we're keeping it rocking here. So Roadmap to Your Heart, again, back here presented by our friends over at Clay Airy Music, theclayairy.com for more information. And, of course, you just heard the latest single right there. Time for that across all those DSPs. Roadmap to Your Heart, my friend. Brook Ellingworth, we got to know all about this one.
This is going to be the next single. And me and my friend George Hux wrote this together. And we started co-writing last year, and as soon as we started, we kind of just couldn't stop. It was great. We just clicked straight away, and I love those relationships and friendships. And just as soon as you find especially a co-writer that you can just click with and you can empty everything out of the table with, you can run with that. He brought the idea to the table. He already had most of the chorus done. And it's a love story, but it's about a guy that doesn't want to get it wrong. He likes this person. He likes this girl so much that he doesn't want to screw it up because maybe he's already screwed it up before. So he's asking. He's like, show me. Mm-hmm. He's saying, show me the stars that you follow home. Show me the back roads. Just show me the way to your heart so I don't mess it up along the way. So I know that this is going to work.
Yeah,
so
and
that's coming out February 14th, Valentine's Day.
The 14th, Valentine's Day, Roadmap to Your Heart. So I love that one too at the same time. I'd love to, we're glad we get to feature it here before it comes out here. KKTC True Country 99.9 out there too as well. Of course, again, on the visual side, you're not able to hear it out there too, but the audio show comes out tomorrow there on the True Country 99.9 in Taos out there too. And I love this other one too that you had across all the platforms. We'll talk about here in just a second with Truck Stop, which is fantastic. First, I want to know a little bit about just obstacles. I'm always interested, like you said, roadmap to someone's heart. Well, the roadmap in the music industry to take the little twists and turns. And you mentioned that word bankrupt and things like that. When I started this years ago, I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? Am I crazy? I've got the money to do this, the sponsors and all this crazy stuff and coming in contact with a lot of great people. And it's all about relationships. But talk to me about the roadmap, if you will, of just the obstacles and some of the hardest things and the challenges you face in this business.
That's a tough one. The whole thing is a tough one, but you've just got to keep throwing everything you have at it. And it's this crazy dream, and I don't know what else I would do. It is exactly what I know that I should be doing. And to be successful in it, you do just have to throw everything you have at it. Emotionally, financially, physically, with all your songs and your time. So that part is definitely exhausting. But I feel like I've been really blessed with the way that the roads that I've been going down with my career have ended up and where they've taken me so far and where they keep taking me. Like I'm coming back to Nashville in a couple of weeks for CRS, and that's sick. And everyone that I've met along the way and all the hands I've shaken and the studios that I've recorded with and the producers I've worked with and the songwriters, and it all has more ups than it does downs. And I feel like in any industry, there's going to be hurdles and there's going to be potholes and speed bumps. And that's what I was telling my friend Hux last night when we were chatting. I was just like, no matter what road you go down, there's going to be a pothole. There's going to be a speed bump. It's going to slow you down.
Yeah.
And that's just in any scenario, really. And like, let's say you stick a single out and it doesn't get the streams that you want it to get because maybe it doesn't get caught on an algorithm, or maybe it doesn't get playlisted, or maybe it sucks. And maybe it just doesn't reach the streams that you were expecting. So that's that speed bump. Or that pothole. That's just slowing you down a little bit. You're going to get back on the road. You're going to get that momentum back up, and then you're going to release something else.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep plugging away at it.
You know, and that's what I did. Yeah, and it's the same way with radio, the same way, even podcasting and all this other stuff too. You just keep plugging away. You keep finding the word grind in this industry. That becomes a big part of it too at the same time. I want to know on the flip side of the coin, when you look at that and you go through all that, you mentioned all those speed bumps and all that good stuff there, then to get on stage and see all this come to life and perform in front of live crowds. Is that the best part?
That is the best feeling about all of it. Is when you get up there and you get that rush. And yeah, I'm definitely made to be up there, I think. I love it. I love performing. I love the energy. I love the high you get from it. It's definitely all worth it.
It's definitely, yeah. That's in the live shows, man. It's nothing like going to a live show. Now, for you guys, there's a different breed, I'm going to use that word, of great country music fans. I want to go to the UK just to see how country music is different than here in the States. For me, the fairs and festivals, rodeos, things like that over there, I mean, when they know who you are and they're playing your stuff on the stations over there too, as I'm sure they're doing yours, they're going to come out to see it. They're going to purchase the tickets. They're going to buy the merchandise, all that good stuff. I am excited to get to the UK one day and like take in like the live show at just any artist or any fair and festival. How passionate are those British country music fans? Talk about that for me.
Dude, we get into it. We get into it. The passionate is the right word. And it's also, everyone's so just dialed in. If they're going to see someone big, like if it's even if it's a club or a theater instead of a festival or an arena, if it's not a sold, it doesn't even have to be a sold out show, but everyone will be dialed in, even to the support acts. People are listening. I mean, there's always people drinking and chatting, and that's just what happens. It's a gig. But there are so many folks that will just switch off and just dial in. Even if it's like a 20-minute support slot, and there's another support act, and it's the main act.
Yeah.
They're there for that. And it is quite something.
I got to take it in for myself, man. If they call the word spectacle, I want to see that too. Because they say the Calgary Stampede, I've got friends up there who want me to come up to Canada to experience that in Canada. Okay. And how country music is different. I've had a lot of Canadian country artists come on this very show and talk about, again, once they get to know you, once they like your stuff, they're coming out there to see you, no doubt about it. They will buy the tickets, they'll buy the merch and all the good stuff there too, and support artists and music out there too, no doubt, because like I said, country music right now is at the top of its game. I want to get your opinion on this before I play Truck Stop here on the audio side of the show.
Yeah.
There's so many great women, right now in the industry, both and all over the world. I mean, it just could be anything, not just Nashville, but just to throw out a few Nashville artists, whom I've had here on this show, Lainey Wilson, Taylor Austin Dye, Ashley Cook, Hannah Ellis, Ashley McBride, Carly Pierce. I mean, the names go on and on. Talk about just how great this is to see the ladies finally getting a little bit of that calling.
Dude, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, you know, seeing Lainey Wilson win Entertainer of the Year the other year when no one really expected it, and she took away how many CMA awards that day? Like, is that 5
7,
or
8,
something? 7,
maybe
7,
more,
8.
who knows? Yeah.
Maybe more. You know, like it's mind blowing, and I've been listening to the country radio all day, and I swear I am hearing more and more female artists than I am male artists. And there are songs that are coming out, and I'll just stop and drop whatever I'm doing and just dial into it and be like, this is like breaking my heart and blowing my mind at the same time. I love it. I'm here for it.
I think it's great. No, it's one of those things where, like I said, you pick the right song and get it out to the masses, man. And like I said, it's in the writing, and I love it. We'll talk about the songwriters here a little bit on the show. Again, the Backstage Pass countdown is on CRS 2025, February 19th to 21st at the Omni Hotel. We're going to be there doing our show live. And, of course, Caden Gordon will be joining me, and our good friend Clay Airy out there too as well, theclayairy.com for the latest tour information. And, of course, this newest single, Time for That, our presenting sponsor here on the Backstage Pass. We got to play Truck Stop from Brook Ellingworth coming up here too as well on KKTC True Country 99.9. Back in a flash, the visual side coming right back. More conversation coming up with Brooke. We'll talk all about Truck Stop here, and of course the audio side. Enjoy this one again here, the Backstage Pass, KKTC True Country 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico, powered by that website. If you hadn't been there, there's a lot there for you. The sportsguyspodcast.com. It's a grand slam of music and sports. CRS 2025 presented by theclayairy.com. Clay Airy, Nashville recording artist. Back. Stay tuned.
If you're gonna break my heart, go on and do it right now. I ain't piecing this together when you finally figure it out. 'Cause you love me, then you hate me, yeah, you're leaving, then you wanna come back. Girl, I ain't got time for that.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
And back here, the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com, a grand slam of music and sports. We love it here, CRS 2025. Myself, Caden Gordon, will be there too at the Omni Hotel, February 19th to 21st. And guys, we'll put the schedule out, but I can tell you right now, the Oak Ridge Boys, Shenandoah, Daryl Worley, T.G. Shepard, John Berry, the big stars, they're coming out, no doubt about it too. And of course, a lot of the rising artists. We have one of them today. Again, back here presented by the CadenGordonShow.com, today's best country mix, and our friend Clay Airy out there, theclayairy.com. And Time for That, the newest single across all those digital streaming platforms. Brook Ellingworth, we got to know all about Truck Stop, my friend. Take it away.
Truck Stop was one of the first co-writes I ever really did. And it happened to be in Nashville. And I had just met my friend Greg Crow, who I co-wrote the song with. And it really was the first song that I ever co-wrote. And he just brought this idea to the table whilst we were hanging out around his pool. We were drinking tequila and beers and, you know, smoking cigarettes. And it was the middle of the summer in Nashville. It was stunning. And he brought this idea to the table of, there's this boy and this girl, and they grew up in this tiny little town, never really came from much. And the girl's got this big dream of leaving town, going to LA. And, you know, if it's becoming an actor or a singer or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So they've got this beat up old truck, and they finally fix it up, and she saves up enough money from her tiny little job. And, she finally gets to leave town. So she does, and she chases her dreams, and it's great. But then she's leaving the boy back home heartbroken. because she's left. And instead of us having the story as if the boy's singing to the girl to come back to him, we had it as if the boy's singing to the truck to tell the truck to stop and turn around and bring the girl back to him. So that was sort of the little twist we had on it.
I love it. It's got country songs need as many twists as possible when it comes down to it, because it's all, in the songwriting. I wanted to go back to that too, because you've worked with a lot of people. You mentioned there too, going there, the Curb Studios and things like that. When it comes to the producers and the writers, how critical is that when you choose the right producer and the right writers to co-write with in a studio to maximize, the writers' rounds, things like that, or the writer, the writing when it comes to writing with another partner? How important is that to you when it comes to picking the right song and working with the right people on a team?
Well, when I've always gone in the studio, I've always had an A game before. I've always had a game plan. I've not actually sat in a studio and written and recorded sort of same day. But when it comes down to the writer, I mean, I'll give most people a chance as long as I like the person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, is that you've kind of got to like them. And there's got to be some sort of level of trust there, because you're going to be expressing a lot of emotion. You're going to be putting a lot out there. And if it works, it works. And you can write great songs, but it just has to work. It has to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could have sat there for a few hours in that day, had that co-write with that person, written a song that you might love or you might hate, or you might just think it's pretty good. But then you sort of just know already to yourself, you're just like, I'm probably not going to write with them again.
Yeah.
You've got to like the person. You've got to like what they do. You guys have to have some sort of energy and some sort of magic between you when you create something. Like I've got a select couple songwriters in the UK that I sort of only work with at the moment. If someone approached me and goes, "Hey, do you want to write?" I'll be like, "I'm down. Let's write. Let's crack a beer and get to know each other, and let's write a song." And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. When it comes to producers, I've only ever really worked with one, who is Jake Burns. He co-produced my single Like It Was the First Time. He co-produced the Divers and Heartbreaks record with me. He produced the next record with me and all these singles. And again, it's down to trust and friendship and credibility.
It's a big deal, no doubt, and that's why they call it the music business, no doubt about it. And I think that's something that comes down to, you got to feel comfortable who you work with, and same thing applies in any line of work out there, occupation, jobs. Build that team, feel confident everybody has the same goals and wants to achieve the same, newer heights out there. Be careful who you associate yourself with. I think we were told that at a very young age, the first job we probably any of us ever had out there too. But build your team and do it wisely. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. I love doing a little segment called Rapid Fire. Again, Brook Ellingworth joining us here. The Backstage Pass will be in Nashville, Tennessee, live doing the show. The Omni Hotel, again, presented by our friends at Clay Airy Music out there too. TheClayAiry.com. Be sure to check out the latest single, Time for That. And, of course, our friends, the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix. Appreciate that. Without the sponsors, we could not get there to bring all this equipment and do all these great interviews. We got about 35 shows set up in like 2.5 days. It's going to be big. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, always Aristo. Got to throw props out to Christy Watkins and Taylor Dickens out there. Do a great job to take care of everybody in that media room, because it is not easy to segue all that good stuff out there too. And love it out there too. Great networking opportunity. Looking forward to that. February 19th to 21st, the Omni Hotel, the Backstage Pass, the 6th year in a row. All right, let's have a little fun, Brooke. Sports on the American side is a drug. I'll have to say that because I love watching it, no matter who's playing. I'm always rooting for the underdog. For you, what teams do you get into?
When it comes to American football, I have to call it American football because football is soccer.
Yeah, soccer. Yes, correct.
I'm a Titans fan. It's been
Okay.
a tough season. We don't really need to speak about that too much.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
And then whenever I am in town, I don't follow it religiously, but when it comes to ice hockey, I'll follow the Preds.
Okay. I like that too. The Preds always fun. I've yet to go to a Preds game. This February, I might have to on the last second to last night, just to go take one in. I need to do that. So
it's a good time.
It's a good time. Okay,
it's a good time.
Grab a cold one, and I love ice. I do. I watch it on TV, and I haven't been to one. Oh man, since 2017, maybe 2018, somewhere in there. So I got to go back and check one out. Last time I was down in Florida, I caught the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that was fun. I think it was Amalie Arena in downtown Tampa, which was a lot of fun down there. So it was 17, 18, somewhere in there that went back there and enjoyed hockey. All right, Nashville's no shortage of restaurants. I'm sure the UK isn't either when it comes down to it. You got to love food. We're all foodies here on the broadcast. Give me your favorite food, whether it's either UK-based, Nashville-based. Where do you like to eat? Where do you like to go?
I'm a big steak guy.
Okay.
If I'm going to go out and there's a steak on the menu, I know exactly what I'm having. I'm just going to go straight for a steak. There's a chain of restaurants in the UK called Hawksmoor. Sort of major cities, you'll find one in. They are stunning. If not a really good cheeseburger, I'm obsessed. Smash patty burgers. It has to be like, if you go to a pub in the UK and they've got a cheeseburger on there or any kind of burger, I always ask, I'm just like, is it like this? Like, is it this thick? Because if it is, I'm not having it.
Make sure it's big enough. Yeah. Make sure it's big enough, no doubt. It's got to be the size you're looking for when it comes to a burger, right? You get what you pay for.
Yeah, for sure. And when it comes to burgers, Nashville, it's got to be Dino's.
All right. I got it. There's one they said, somebody told me the other day, because I love tacos. I got to try Bar Taco. Looking forward to that. So that's another restaurant in Nashville.
Yeah. Okay, I need to check that out myself, I think.
Yeah, Bar Taco. They say it's got a little bit of everything there too. And for me, I finally settled the hot chicken battle for me. I was a hot chicken fan. It was Hattie B's over Prince's. Now I only had those two, but
okay,
I compared two. So Hattie B's on Broadway. I was particular on where I go. So Hattie B's on Broadway. And I'll tell you this, man, for like the restaurant inside the Omni, Bar Lines is pretty good next to the Country Music Hall of Fame. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I like it. So if you want a quick burger and quick food and out and watch catch local talent there too. People trying to, just get their stuff out there. And I know Pickle Jar's done a great job, putting that on for the last few years too. They always do a great job. So I love sitting there eating a burger and meeting people, having a beer, and just enjoying myself. So it's a great time. All right, let's finish with this one. If you'd never been a working musician, what other career path would you have taken?
I thought as like a kid, like when I was like maybe like 4 or 5, I thought that I wanted to be a vet. And then at one point I also thought that I wanted to go into like marine biology as a kid as well. I used to be like obsessed with fish, used to have fish tanks. So that could have been a path. But then again, I'm very handsy, I'm very outdoorsy, I'm very practical. So man. I don't know. It could have been a vet or a farmer route, I think.
All right. I could see that too. Respect the marine biology, man. It's always a fun field. I almost did that too. If I hadn't gone to law school, I might have gone to. I got a good friend of mine in marine biology. I may have just kind of, dabble with that too at the same time. But hey, I want to put the social media out there. Brook Ellingworth on social media. Give us where they can find you, and of course the website, all that good jazz.
Website is brookellingworth.com. Instagram, Brook Ellingworth Music. Facebook, Brook Ellingworth Music. I think TikTok might be the same. I'm not on there much because I tell you what, it is exhausting being trying to be a content creator as well as a musician.
It is, no doubt. Yes.
That might be a conversation for a different time. But yeah, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Brook Ellingworth Music, and brookellingworth.com for the website.
There's the website. And, of course, Truck Stop is out there across all the digital streaming platforms. Make sure you guys go check that out wherever you download or stream music out there, too. Again, the audio version comes out tomorrow, KKTC True Country 99.9. And, of course, a lot of great shows coming up as we get toward the end of the week. Tomorrow, just hump day for us here in the States because of time difference here. Of course, you have States of the UK, but still, same time. Tomorrow's Wednesday, rock and roll. Have a good fun out there as we count down the days to Country Radio Seminar 2025, February 19th to 21st, presented by our friends over at the CadenGordonShow.com. Today's best country mix. And, of course, out there, Clay Airy, our presenting sponsor, Clay Airy, the ClayAiry.com, AERY, and the newest single, Time for That. Be sure and check that out, along with Brooks Music across all those DSPs out there and wherever you download or stream music. We're back this week with Shelly in the morning, too, on KKTC True Country 99.9. It's a grand slam of music and sports powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. We're on the flip side. We'll see you this week. Tulane Summer coming by, Bronwyn Keith Hines, and, of course, coming up here in a few weeks, Los Lonely Boys right here on the Backstage Pass. JoJo's going to be joining us to talk about some new projects they have here in just a few weeks. We'll talk to you soon here. KKTC True Country 99.9 in Taos, New Mexico. More great music coming up there. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.